welcome to the New York Baseball Podcast, episode number 6. Today we have former Major League infielder Adam Rosales. He has played on many teams throughout his career, including the Reds, Athletics, Rangers, Padres, Diamondbacks, and Indians. Currently, he serves as a minor league coach within the Athletics organization. Adam also has his own program called Baseball Utility, which is geared towards training young baseball players. Welcome, Adam. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing well, yeah.
I hope you're doing well with the circumstances that we're in right now. Obviously, it's going through tough times, but all you got to do is just keep grinding and keep working hard towards your goals, and you're a perfect example of that. So we're going to fire some questions at you, and we're going to give our young viewers hopefully some inspiration for their baseball careers. So, Noah, take it away.
All right, so Adam, first question we're going to ask you is, so we just want to know kind of what was it like when you first got called up to the majors, and did you ever envision this happening in your career?
Yeah, well, I definitely envisioned it happening. I had to envision it happening ever since I've been a little kid. But you know, once they give you the call up, you're always going to be a Major League Baseball player, and that was my goal when I was a little kid. I wanted to play one day in the major leagues, and right when that happens, it's a sense of relief. It is just a sense of accomplishment, and all that hard work and dedication that you've had throughout the years definitely pays off.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's just I can only imagine how cool that was when you first got called up, like something you've been working towards your whole entire life, and then it finally pays off. And to play on as many different teams as you did is just like incredible to me. So our next question is going to be, so you moved around among many teams and cities throughout your career. Was it difficult transitioning and meeting new players, coaches, and places, or how were the transitions between different teams and cities?
For me, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I actually enjoyed doing it, meeting new teammates or guys that I've played against and have a ton of respect for. So just going to the different clubhouses was actually pretty neat for me to see, like, the different team chemistries and the different routines that happen inside a clubhouse and just different philosophies. It was just really cool. There's actually a cool experience that I had I'm not sure if you want to call it cool, but it's in 2013. I was with the A's, and I got designated for reassignment, and the Rangers picked me up. And 2 days later, they designated me, and then the A's picked me back up, and then the A's designated me, and I got picked up by the Rangers finally. Wow. So it was pretty wild going back and forth between those two clubhouses. But you know, I never had a problem with it. I just feel like I have a decent reputation and a good personality to make that adjustment pretty quickly.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite city throughout your career?
Yeah. Well, I'm from Chicago originally, so I always liked going back home, seeing family. And my dream was to play that one day on Wrigley Field. And I got to do that a couple times, which, you know, I was definitely fortunate to do. But to tell you the truth, I really loved going to Boston, play at Fenway, and just the history in Boston was really neat to be a part of that.
Yeah, definitely. Fenway, one of the most historic stadiums out there. So for our next question, so again, Ari was talking about how you've just moved around a lot throughout your career. Was there a favorite teammate or a coach on any of the teams that really inspired you?
I mean, every team had a coach and a teammate that inspired me. I mean, there's so much talent and there's so much respect in the major leagues, is that every day you get inspired and motivated by somebody. Obviously, I had a great experience in Oakland and had a really good infield coach, Mike Gallego, who was really inspiration in my career. A lot of great hitting coaches like Dave Magadan, Alan Zinter was a great one.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I listened to your podcast the other day. You just had Alan Zinter on, right?
Yeah, Alan Zinter is a really good guy. But there's a lot of inspiration, a lot of great people that have helped me and guided me along my journey.
That's amazing. So our next question is, what was the most surprising thing about playing in the major leagues that you didn't expect or didn't like expect to happen? Like what was the most like the thing that took you the most off guard?
Ugh. Off the field, the travel was pretty legit. Like
Mhm.
we would, drive the bus up on the tarmac, get off the steps off the bus, and then walk up the stairs onto the plane. And there's snacks and drinks and dinner waiting for you on the plane. So I thought that was like, wow, this is definitely not AAA anymore. That was pretty eye opening to me too. It's like, wow, we finally made it, But on the field, just the talent and the routines that these guys have day in and day out. Guys like a Prince Fielder who are just getting after it in the workout room. Like just the respect I have for a guy like that.
Yeah, it's funny because we've actually interviewed some minor leaguers, and they were kind of telling us about like the travel. And obviously, it sounds very different to your experiences in the majors.
Yeah, it's a game changer for sure.
All right, yeah, so now we have a couple of fun questions to ask you just about the different moments in your career. So obviously you faced a lot of very good pitchers. Which pitcher had the nastiest stuff or was kind of the hardest to hit that you found?
The one I struggled with the most was, for a right-hander, it was Justin Verlander, and the left-hander that I had to face was Clayton Kershaw. Those two guys are just obviously really fierce competitors and knew what they were doing out there. They weren't just throwing the ball. They were pitching, hitting spots, in command, just wanted to win out there. But I always liked facing those guys because a guy like me, I got nothing to lose. Those are the guys that are supposed to get me out.
Yeah.
And when I had some success off of them, I never had success off of Verlander, but off of Kershaw, snuck in a couple of hits or hit the ball hard. Like I always tell young players, like you have to celebrate the smallest successes, right? And I think even hitting a hard line drive off of Clayton Kershaw, I'm like, I win.
Oh, yeah, of course,
Because
yeah.
it builds my confidence going into to face the next guy.
Yeah.
Or if I drew a walk off Clayton Kershaw or something like that, like it would just boost my confidence to go face the next pitcher. So I know he's a tough pitcher.
One amazing pitcher that you had success off of, we were looking at Chris Sale, right? We were looking at a few videos and stats. Yeah. You had a few home runs off Sale, right?
And that's a nasty pitcher too. I always, he always threw me the fastball.
Count to Rosales. Adam, a 190 hitter for the year. There goes Gentry. The pitch is hit high in the air to left field. Going back is Viciedo. He's looking up. Goodbye. History repeating itself against Chris Sale. First it was Baker, and now it's Adam Rosales who is smoking it around. That's the fastest home run I've ever seen.
Well, was that an inside the park home run?
Could have been.
Boy, that's got to be one of the biggest thrills of his career right there. Getting a chance to start. He's hitting ninth as the DH, and he has hit a home run in a pennant race. I don't know that you can be any happier as a ball player than Adam Rosales is right now. He almost fell coming out of the box, sprinted around the bases, and he's going to be smiling until tomorrow morning.
Well, that's great.
I love
that. Well, Adam
Rosales. They always thought they could beat me with, through hard, 97, 98 maybe.
Yeah.
And with a funky move, but I always saw it good and got my foot down, got my bat head out into the hitting zone, and the ball just jumped off my bat. And playing in Chicago too, obviously my adrenaline's up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it's just pumping, but also the ball I feel like the ball flies in Chicago too. So, but yeah, hitting off Chris Sale was. But then he started throwing me his changeup.
Oh no.
I was done. I was toast. The 98 looked like 103 then.
Yeah. Well, hitting at 98 miles per hour fastball, my God, that's still like I can't even imagine how hard that must be and how much training you have to do to be able to do that on a daily level. But so our next fun question is, and you probably have multiple of these in your career, but what was your favorite moment or your highest accolade in your career? Like what was the thing that if it was a walk-off hit, if it was a certain day to play, or a play you made in the field, what was your favorite moment in the major league?
So I'm not sure if you guys tuned into the baseball utility webinar, but just last week, we had Dallas Braden and Landon Powell on. And those are the top questions I get is, where's your favorite place to play? Who's the hardest pitcher to face? And why do you sprint around the bases on a home run? But then they ask what you just asked, what's your favorite highlight or what of your career? And that's what it is. It's Dallas Braden's perfect game. I get to play second base in it. I made one play, but that will forever be the highlight of my career. And just an honor to be in his game. It's just remarkable to be a part of something like that in baseball history.
On Mother's Day too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, no, you keep talking. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say that Mother's Day is special to me. Obviously, the relationship that I have with my mom, but the year before Dallas Braden's perfect game, so that would be 2009. The year before, I hit my first major league home run on Mother's Day, which was in Cincinnati to tie the game up. And then the next Mother's Day, 2010, is obviously Dallas Braden's perfect game.
You just had some pretty crazy Mother's Days. I'm like, that's pretty incredible. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, like during a perfect game, I guess like in the 8th or 9th innings, what's it like being out on the field? Like, are you just really nervous? Kind of like you don't want to like mess it up?
Pennington, he's got it. Throw to first. He did it. He did it. Dallas Braden has thrown a perfect game.
You know, the perfect game.
Yeah, I was talking to Dallas last week about that, about how bad my hand was sweating in my glove. I was super nervous, but I was like, hit the ball to me. I'm gonna do everything superhuman to dive for this ball or come out of my shoes to get to. I'm going play. You know, I'm ready and alert more than I've ever been in a baseball game before. Yeah, it just heightens that intensity. And I was talking to Kevin Kuzminoff as well. He's on the baseball utility webinar as well every Thursday night, and he's an infielder, third baseman. He played third base in Dallas perfect game, and he had about it seemed like 10 plays that day, and he made some spectacular plays.
If they would like. Kuzminoff reaches up and grabs the line drive, and that's the first out of the ball game.
First play the first play of the game was down the line, and you stabbed at it, or else it would have been a double. And he caught the ball going into our third base dugout.
I remember that, yeah.
All that foul territory in Oakland. And he
caught it. Yeah, for sure.
And, I asked him if he felt the same way about feeling that nervousness and just that desire that you were so alert and intensely anticipating every pitch that Dallas threw, and he did. He said he felt the same way, and that's what's so great about the greatest highlight of my career is that it's a team effort. It wasn't just me and what I did.
Right. Yeah. I remember when I was watching highlights of that game, Kuzminoff and like going into the dugout almost in that foul territory. Like there's so much foul territory in Oakland, it's crazy. So the fact that like anybody can throw a perfect game in like Oakland with all that foul territory is just like amazing. Like a perfect game itself, it's like there will only be like 21 of those in history. What, 22 of those in history?
23.
23. Okay, I got it. Yeah, but that's just a rare accomplishment. Yeah, and even if it'd be a part of a perfect game, it's like was there like a I know that was your favorite moment of your career playing behind the perfect game. Was there an individual performance that you remember from any game where you raked, like you went like 4 for 4? Like was there ever an amazing game that you'll remember, like for always remember?
You know, I've only hit 2 walk-off home runs in my life. Mm-hmm. And one was at Western Michigan University, where I went to school for 4 years. And then the other one was when I was playing for San Diego in 2016 against the Cincinnati Reds.
The mound makes a nice play. We go to the 10th, bottom half of the inning. Adam Rosales sends everyone home happy in San Diego. His first career walk-off homer. It comes off Jumbo Diaz, 8th long ball of the season.
Team that drafted me, who I came up through the minor leagues with. So we're playing in San Diego. It was the 10th inning. The guy's throwing 96, 98 with nasty sink on it. Yeah. Jumbo Diaz, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
And he had 2 strikes. He had 2 strikes on me, and I just tried to put a short, direct swing on the baseball, and the ball jumped off my barrel. and the rest is history. You have to sprint around the bases and celebrate at home plate, and that stood out to me. That was really exciting. Got my definitely boosted my adrenaline.
We were just watching that highlight of your walk-off home run in San Diego. You are so electric when you run around the bases. I love it. Like I just wish more players would do that when they were running around the bases. Like there's no problem at all to jog when after you hit a home run. Like you hit a home run, you have to right the jog. But your like energy is just like so unparalleled. Like it's just so amazing when you see it running around the bases. And I remember specifically in at Yankee Stadium, the first pitch of the game where you hit a home run off CC.
Rosales. So CC Sabathia kicks, and the first pitch of the ball game is drilled to left, and that's hit well. Wells is going back, and that baby is gone, and we are underway from Yankee Stadium.
And there he's underway too, Kai, sprinting around the bases. We have to put a clock on him. So Bob Melvin, first pitch, and the thing that Rosales said, when you lead off on the road, you get to see the first pitch, and he jumps on the first pitch for a home run. Unbelievable. I hope that boys put a clock on him going around the bases, because you're not going to see anybody ever lead off a game of the first pitch sprinting around the bases the way Rosales does.
Yeah. I took to one of my favorite teammates there in New York. We were at Yankee Stadium. We're just having our lunch there in the clubhouse at the new Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And Chris Young and I were talking. Chris Young led off a lot. He was a leadoff guy a lot. And I hadn't let off a game since 2007 probably. So it had been about 5 years or so. And I go, CY, what do I do here? Like, I usually like being aggressive, but I know as a leadoff hitter, you're not really supposed to hit the first pitch because you want to see a lot of different pitches.
Right.
Come back to the dugout, tell the guys what the pitcher has that day and whatnot. But CY's like, hey, that's your style. Be you. Do your thing, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting in the box, and I'm sitting in the box, and if the thought ever goes into my mind to take the pitch, I have to take the pitch. And like for a lot of young players, I would highly recommend that too, because if there's any kind of like doubt or a miscommunication in your brain that you got to take a pitch or swing at it, always take it, because you're going to get crossed up in your own mind, and you're going to swing at a bad pitch, or you're going to put a weak swing, a mediocre swing on it. So always be intent every swing you take. So now I was that a bat, and I kind of like, I'm not sure if CC Sabathia saw it, but I was kind of acting like I wasn't going to swing. But I knew in my mind, if it was over the plate, I was going to crush it. But I was kind of just standing there, first pitch of the game, just relaxed, super relaxed. And I'm like, all right, here comes the pitch. All right, boom! It was pretty, especially do it at Yankee Stadium.
Of course.
There's a lot of history there, and against the Yankees, obviously a team that I respect ever since I've been a kid. So.
Yeah, no, Ari and I are both New York baseball fans. Did you enjoy playing in New York, like in Infielder or Yankee Stadium?
I did. I love playing in New York. I always loved, even just being in the city, all the, the hustle bustle. We stayed right there by Central Park. Got to go walk it a couple times. Yeah, it's really neat to see that. It's a different culture, right? And there's so much to do in New York. And obviously to go pay respect to the 9/11 memorial. Got to do that a couple times when my family was visiting with me. So I love going to New York. Obviously a lot of history as well. Playing obviously Yankee Stadium and playing against the Yankees pretty legendary, but also playing against the Mets as well in Queens. But yeah, always loved going to New York. There's no question.
Yeah, we love to hear it as New York fans. All right, so kind of just to wrap things up, I know you've already actually been talking about it, your program, Baseball Utility. If you just want to kind of summarize to the viewers kind of what is it, and what advice would you give to young players, especially like right now during these times, kind of inspire them?
Yeah, for me, Baseball Utility is focusing on those players that are on the brink of quitting baseball. Like because they say about 70% of baseball players quit or stop playing baseball at 12 years old, 12, 13 years old. And for me, that's heartbreaking. I'm like, that was 12 years old. That was when I was just getting excited about baseball, like taking it to a different level. And I know there's a lot of things going against 12-year-olds. the size of the field gets bigger. They have to use bats that have more thud in them. Maybe they haven't grown physically yet. So I'm just trying to find ways to help a player play for another week or another month or another year, just to let them grow and develop both cognitively and physically. So I'm just putting a lot of work into that right now, doing webinars, surrounding ourselves with people that are going to give us the right information to these young players and their coaches and their parents. And I obviously could tell I have such passion for it. I put a lot of time into it. And I just really want these kids to enjoy the game and get what they need, so they will keep on playing just a couple more days or a couple more years. But yeah, we do that webinar every Thursday night right now, and obviously do the podcast Player to Pro. But that's it in a nutshell. There's a lot that goes into it, but that's about it in a nutshell, though.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like podcasting and webinars, like especially during these times, are the best way to stay in touch with the game and other people, because there's only so much physical socializing we can do. So like podcasting and webinars have definitely seen a growth in marketing during this quarantine, and it's definitely a good thing to have when there's no baseball going on right now. Because I know that like I miss it so much that I have to do this in order to like not go crazy. This and playing MLB The Show, obviously, but this and just to not go crazy from it. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on to our podcast today. You are truly an amazing person. We look forward to seeing all the amazing things you're going to do with baseball utility in your career. We're definitely going to hop on your webinars in the future.
For
And
sure.
all of you guys listening at home, definitely go to the webinars at baseballutility.com, right?
Yeah, you can sign up at baseballutility.com.
Got it.
There's a lot of information there.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
thank you, Adam. We really appreciate your time, and I think you gave some great advice to the young viewers at home.
Yeah, well, you asked me for the bit of advice, and I forgot to get to that. So really quick, like the message I always give young players is to make sure that they are coachable, right? So you listen to your parents, your teachers, and your coaches. At least try what they tell you to do at least one time, right? Because they care about you, right? Be coachable and understand what work ethic is. Understand that you're going to work hard, you're going to sweat, right? It's called sweat equity. You're going to put into it, and what you put in, you're going to get out some positive stuff. But understand you have to work smart too. Part of work ethic is not just working hard, but it's working smart, understanding what you're doing, asking questions to the right people. I think that's two things. So be coachable and understand what work ethic really is. So, but I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the opportunity of being on your show, and I wish you guys the best as well.
Thank you so much. Can't put into words how much this means for our podcast. We're looking just to like expand, and the fact that we've already been able to have 2 minor league players and a major league player on, it's just like amazing. Like we just started. So thank you so much for your time, and it's also kind of cool how you have a podcast too. So we're able to both relate to our like podcast ideas and everything.
Collaboration, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you stay safe, stay healthy during the rest of these challenging times. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
Bye.
So that was former Major League infielder Adam Rosales, who played for multiple teams in his career. We just had an interview with him about his program Baseball Utility and about many of the accolades he had in his career. That was a great interview, Noah.
Yeah, no, it was really interesting to hear him talk about, the perfect game on Mother's Day. I didn't realize his first home run was also on Mother's Day, which I thought
Yeah.
was pretty cool. I think he's just very down to earth. He was speaking from his heart, and he was very optimistic too. I really like that.
Yeah. He just has all the positive energy in the world. Like you don't normally see a lot of Major League Baseball players who are just so like down to earth, so just like positive. But he is like a prime example.
Yeah, just like a normal guy who just plays Major League Baseball.
Yep, exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to New York Baseball Podcast, episode number 6. Stay tuned for the episode number 7, where we have another player coming on for yet another interview in this little slew of interviews we've been having with all these different players. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We just submitted our application for Stitcher. We'll be on there soon too. We are also obviously on our Buzzsprout site. And we appreciate you listening. And yes, stay safe, everyone, and see you next time.
Yeah, have a great week, and we'll see you very shortly.